quicker. He has time and space, but not much boost. Gets the reset, and it's over, Rick.
He said no, looking for the pass to Ollie. Ollie redirecting it into the back of the net from Milo.
Hits the backboard of the crossbar. The double touch from Kebab is absolutely out of this world. His first touch on the edge of look for the second. Gets that flip reset. Woofy, you dangerous man.
Waiting up Phoenix, he beats all the defenders with an unbelievable musty trick.
Early, pull this ball played off the back of the board, and look at that double tap. Oh my god! Welcome everybody to the RSC Season 7.
Welcome back. As the carousel keeps on spinning, so does the gameplay. It might be a whirlwind this one here, and I did say there'd be a change in the production booth. Our Overlord has joined us here, and I believe, is it praised to be the Mighty Lord, or what is the correct title to address you today?
I'll take the admin overlord with kids, as I'm named in the Waifu fan club server. It's great to be here with you, Danny. Absolute pleasure, man.
Fabulous to be joined alongside you, and as always, well, we've got a long history ourselves, and well, the teams are going to have a history themselves as well, from their statistics and everything on display here. I believe we might take a brief look onto them shortly, but I'm going to throw you in a deep end slightly here. Any cheeky predictions?
Cheeky prediction today. I kind of rate these teams evenly. I think they're evenly matched in most of the stats. Imoutos have played 4 games extra after just playing tonight. And I would personally go for a 2-2.
2-2, quite even. Well, from the statistics as well on our screens, it would show a very similar scoreline, even throughout as well too. And well, from the casting per side of things as well too, one of our very own casters is actually playing tonight as well too. So I suppose it'll be a bit of a fun for us as any whiffs we get to call it out tonight.
Do you think this could be the game that kickstarts the rest of the season with 3 weeks to go?
I'm going to go with yes, and Harbert a bit more than just yes. Harbert, the gameplay to show us onto that particular prediction that may spark the future, of course, as well. And if you wanted all thoughts and opinions, don't forget the podcast was actually recorded earlier within the week as well too. They're on YouTube. Go down the command, everything available down there. But Ice Davey would like to get things going here, and how many vanilla ices have been referenced out of interest with his name?
Oh, I think this is the first time Imoutos have actually been on stream this season, or maybe the second, and I didn't hear the Ice Davey come out, but we see Fon here putting in the first goal for Imoutos, and this is just the start that we needed for Imoutos after saying that they'll kickstart the season.
Well, just perfect, ideal. You would like to see a bit more here, and first, second, well, maybe the experience required as well here. Ice moves down here, and our particular caster friend shouldn't be well nervous in front of stream here, as that one been typed around here, and Ice Davey still kept on to his throttle there. Nice pass and play by the corner here, of course, with the multiple tiers here. We talked about the sponsorship being elite. This is a bit much lower down in terms of the level played so far, and that one's been the best played tonight.
Yeah, lower down tier, but you wouldn't think it from that passing play there. I'm really unfortunate that they didn't finish that off, because that could have been one of the clip of the weeks for this tier.
Clips, wow. Of course, you've seen our bot as well. Feel free to clip as well, put it on Twitter and within the Discord, let it go around as well too. When we were talking in the green room, of course, the Euros happening at the same time, and I've noticed Mr. Davey himself here has the England flag here, so I'm going to ask you a very tap-in goal here. Is it coming home?
Well, I was banned from saying this prior to the stream, Danny. You did that personally to me, so I'm not going to...
Oh, go on. There it is.
It's coming home.
I don't think it is, but feel free to get involved in that discussion as well too, as that shot certainly wasn't being sunk straight on home here as the play's been moved around here, and frankly the gameplay hasn't been too bad. I thought that maybe this has been better than the Elite Series gameplay I saw about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. There's been some topsy-turvy games in Elite so far, and the roster issues and stuff coming out recently. The clip shown of Boopy on RS cast last night as well, getting faked by someone in net. This tier is proving to be could be the upper echelons at the moment.
Well, maybe the future Elite players here on stream, but right now battling out here, and oh dear, that was a whisker away here. There was certainly a call to Fawn to move that one downfield as half time certainly appears around here. That one goal certainly being on the thoughts and minds. Aisha's double not being put in here. Two excellent players dashed by unfortunately the bar.
Yeah, it's very even so far. Just looking for Imoutos, just looking for that second goal to confirm this game. They've had 6 shots so far to 4, and it's very 50-50 so far. 2 minutes to go. Oh, what's happened here?
What's happening here is you're acting surprised here. You knew rightly what was going on. I've seen you play personally, and our very good friend in the commentary booth showing us where the top right corner exactly is.
Monk left us an hour ago and then appears here with the equalising goal, and he puts Nezuko gang 1-1 in this game. Really good long range finish. I don't know where the Imoutos defence went though. That's something they'll be looking into further down the line.
Where has the defence gone here? Is this one certainly be the words rummaging around here? No, our bar at a strong 50. He scored 2 tonight alone. He's even adopted another English flag as well. We're being surrounded and quite simply dominated by the English performance tonight.
I think when Monk watches this stream back, he'll be disappointed that he's been claimed to be English. He is Northern Irish, and he won't like the "it's coming home" chant from me either, but he has put them 2-1 ahead, and Nezuko gang have just come out of nowhere in the last minute or so, and they find themselves in the lead. Can they hold this for another 90 seconds?
Could he, and rightly so, being annoyed with maybe the comparison, but he has done the talking on the pitch. That's certainly the most important aspect so far here, and what a turnaround it is. And we talked about that play from Ice Stevie, that one whisker away from going 2-0. That's almost only the dividends of what the goal would have been here. Would have been certainly a difference so far. Here's the second one, maybe moving in here. The Northern Irishman certainly getting a touch away here. Under the minute now. Does it remain 2-1 though?
It's going close. Monk just had to survive there with 0 boost. Got the first save, but really awkward for the second. Luckily, the Imoutos attacker missed it. But we find ourselves coming up to the final 30 seconds now, and Imoutos are piling on the pressure recently.
Pressure as Fawn moves that one downfield, sadly. Not the full extent of it. We might just be heading into, I think, maybe the phrase Fergie time here. That's what we'll be hoping on here, keeping the ball high up here. 10 seconds, and this one has to go long. It has done exactly that. Infield pass, no. Shot, no. And I certainly sends it down wide. Ice Davey with a shot. I believe it was an own goal. It shall remain 2-2.
And you can hear the Vanilla Ice chants from the eggs in the crowd. It is 2-2 with 1 second to go, and that's just what Imoutos needed. This could be the lifeline for their season. There's 2 weeks to go. It's the final series of weeks 6 for them, and they go to overtime in game 1.
What a performance we've seen in game 1 already. This is fabulous so far. As we see this ball just being tantalising, teasing, we quite literally see the gang lips frosting at the lips right now, because that one should have been tucked away. 20 seconds, an additional time gone by as that ball been moved away, sadly. Thunder himself was facing the wrong way.
Yeah, and as we speak about Thunder, just want to see him get into the game a little bit more. It looks like it's Monk and Ash being the dominant players for Nezuko. And it seems to be like, I don't know whether it's his ping as he plays on NA, but it just seems like Imoutos just have the pressure on in Nezuko in this first game.
Well, perceptions certainly not being misled here as Eyesight Stevie sets it up to the backboard read. No 50 to contain. Bit of pressure for more than a few seconds. It just seems to be tip and tapped for each play here. A quick little pop up, and that one's so loose here. I don't think they'll keep possession for a length of time. And a quick throwdown over to Thunder himself.
Yeah, 1 minute 15 into this game now. Still looking for the winner. And as we say that, Ash pops up with the winner. And that's just come out of nowhere again for Nezuko. It's been all Imoutos in the last maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes of this game. And they'll be really, really pleased with that first game.
They will be as well too, and what I thought was certainly a decent level. Of course, we'll see how the percentage breaks down on the overlay itself here, and pretty much maybe a slight favour, of course, going against the side in blue here, but certainly didn't can tail them away. Opportunities both sides had as well, but you talked about one player being sort of pointed out. What about Thunder? No shots, no passes, no goals, and no saves. Big knots across the board. Is that also a worrying sign tonight?
I think it is. I was looking at ball touches as the first one, and unsurprisingly, he actually had more than Monk, but as you said, there's 0 stats across the board. It shows that he's not really doing the main things that you need from the game. However, Nezuko did pull off the first game win, and when you're getting dominated on the boost by 2,000, and the field domination is 54% on the other side, I think they can only take credit from winning that first game.
Now, has done as well, I think would be fair. Just the sake of reporting, Thunder's ping in the last second did spike to about 120. Is it an ongoing issue? We're unaware, but they haven't said anything in the chat, so they seem to be good to go here as game 2 does get underway. I did want to maybe touch on to this. You look at the ball touches and certainly the go-to aspects of it. On the last game on stream here, which is certainly worthwhile to watch back here, we saw 5-6 goals plus exulting into goals here. We've yet to see one here. Is that one tantalizing setup, and this one will go in. A bump play nonetheless, 1-0.
Yeah, bump plays were prevalent in the last game, and Ice Davey just looked to disrupt Ash there, as well as Fon in the back of the net, and it just works out, and Imoutos looked like they're starting the game as they ended game 1.
Well, as the question I was going to ask was, did they need to do it? And frankly, yes, the evidence was on display here. Is that one? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I think this one might just be put down to a calamity.
Yeah, you just find El Jefe just leaving the ball there. Trusted Ice Davey to leave the net. I think Davey was coming back from the boost pad. And when you just drive into the middle of the goal, you lose all your momentum, and he just could not get up in time for that goal.
Well, his fatigue maybe also getting into the players as well too, said earlier as well. Of course, 4 games to be played, so concentration has it maybe dipped slightly. 1-1 in the early stages in the second game is, well, quite literally, the ball touches being mentioned here. Pretty much see ball, hit ball type attitude. No unnecessary second touch, no fancy mechanics on display here. Of course, the skill level has been put into question, rightly so here as Ash moves that one back into it. Minute gone by though.
Yeah, I always say in these games that it's usually the people who take an extra touch and bring the ball down and try to do some ground plays and some dribbling plays that usually take these series. And as you can see, people are just hitting the ball away at the moment, and all that does is relinquish possession or cause whiffs and miss the ball. And I just want to see someone take some composure on the ball right now.
Strong, steady hand. That's what's required. That's what's been asked for. Will we see any shape or form of that, as that ball's just been put into the middle, and rightly so, as you said, possession almost thrown away too cheaply here. Recycling, well, maybe one of the 3 R's might need to be brought in here, as that one, quite simply, could have been a tap-in. Poor positioning, leaves the ball lingering around for too long.
I must say, Nezuko gang have been dealing with the Imoutos pressure a lot better this game. They did win game 1, but they were under the cosh for a lot of it. But this game, they seem to have really sorted the defence out. Like we said earlier, a bit of relinquishing possession. They're just passing it into mid with no one there. However, they are stopping the Imoutos counter-attacks.
Now, to be fair, as I mentioned earlier, with the ping slight issue, was and still is quite high. Harboured a goal to get the emotions, rightly so. 2-1 through a nice little pass and play.
And we asked for Thunder to do something. He does have that ping issue because of North America, but he did actually assist that goal, and he finally gets himself into the game and puts on an assist for Ash, and Ash really stepping up in this game as the attacker as well.
Might as well too, but I think for a bit of fairness, I say Davey might just be feeling a little bit sore after his involvement with the play. He harboured an amendment to make him feel better, and that's an excellent pop-up. It's just a shame no third man to smack it on target at least.
Yeah, Imoutos all over the place right now. They've gone behind, and you can just tell that I think Fon and El Jefe are trying to play at the same pace as each other, and they're just getting in each other's way. A good save there from Thunder from Ice Davies' shot, and Nezuko can break here.
Well, that was certainly a play.
It was. They could have broke, but they're just looking to relinquish possession. They're just literally looking to clear the ball, and it's not worked at this point. Ice Davey put in an equaliser for Imoutos, and as we were praising Nezuko, it's just gone to a shambles in the past 20 seconds.
I think we're both stunned, and I think maybe we should just treat this as a fresh game with only, let's say, 1:30 on the clock, because hasn't been the cleanest. We praised him for game 1 on this one. Game 2, certainly a bit more messier. Of course, maybe that nerves, of course, you mentioned earlier in the sort of the pre-show, the build-up to this match, the importance of what a 4-0 could do. The leaderboard standings itself would favour, of course, a massive 4-0 here. Harbour a tap-in goal, and right it is. The red carpet laid, and royalty walks.
And Imoutos find themselves in the lead for the first time in the game. And this is what they needed. They've had around 6 shots in the past 2 minutes, and Nezuko's defence has just crumbled. I was saying earlier that they dealt with the counter-attacks well, but it just seems like they've got into a panic. And like you said, the nerves in the pre-show that we talked about.
Just like that. Everything from nerves, pressure, stability now being the major factor from, frankly, this moment and onwards on the series here. Is quick little pop and play not happening. 40 seconds or rummaging around here for a bag of tricks here. Is quite literally, we have not seen that sort of holding of the ball here, but frankly, waste the clock down to be one side in red. 3 particular ones be screaming for right now, as we've seen the golden text. There's the warning quite literally on our screens here.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go, and Nezuko really needs to pull something off. We're seeing Munt go for those extension plays. We know he's good at those. Saw it all last season in Prospect, and he's got 2 bumps there. But it just seems like Nezuko are bunched up together, and it's going to cost them. Munt coming back from the counter-attack, and just could not get there, still rotating, and Fon just capitalises on that bad rotation.
Well, I hate to say it, maybe the Fon will be making fondue tonight with this one, because it was a sweet play, and we'll place a platter 1-1 series-wise, presuming, and rightly so, it shall stay, being that aforementioned scoreline. I would like to at least mention we haven't seen where this situation fully developed tonight, where the teams were just pigs each other right back here. So is this going to be a case where that 2-2 draw really coming happening, or are we going to see some sparks in Game 3?
I'd like to see both teams come out in full force and try and take this win. Both teams need to be positive this week. I didn't mention it in the pre-game because I wanted to see how this series went, but Nezuko gang have only gone positive once in 6 weeks so far, and that was 2 weeks ago. They look to be a little bit on the up with a 5-3 record, but they got swept last week in the cross-conference against Nuclear, and Imoutos themselves haven't been positive whatsoever this season, and after beating Orcus 3-1 an hour ago, they really need to come out firing in these next 2 games to end the week 5-3 or 6-2.
Well, just like that, and we might have even a surprise coming up shortly as well. How will they end the rot to an extent? Well, that's going to be interesting as well, and I did say there is a small surprise here. Technical substitution coming out here. I wouldn't like to say the Italians decided to roll around and fake an injury here, but whether they're up 1-0 or not here. A new face on the pitch, is that a wise decision, especially how the importance of the series is, especially with the conference stacking up in week 6 itself?
Judging by the performance so far of Thunder, and the we spoke about the ping issues maybe being one of the reasons, but he also wasn't involved in anything in the first game, only got 1 assist last game. I think this is the right call. I think Elusive was one of the main roster players, and maybe Thunder getting in the sub games tonight, but yeah, I think it's a good way to change something up after going 1-1 in a series. You need to win.
We've seen plenty of changes coming around, and the likes of the RCFs, they've adapted sort of a special timeout to give coaches 60 extra seconds. Well, here it's the ability of changing one player from each team. It could just be a little bit different to get something going here. They may have got comfortable in 2 games. Now the ability to read, to affect the game itself, and right now one mistake, but a shot nonetheless worthy to say it is game match certainly back on.
Definitely is, and Monk, we saw in the first game that he was really attacking, and then the second game he kind of sat back a lot. Maybe this substitution has allowed him to push up the field a little bit more. We will see further down the line, but as it stands, Nezuko find themselves 1 goal up.
Well, especially when you do have that sort of change, each sort of team has that different factor. You talked about other esports. Certainly when you change 1 member, it's only maybe like a 5th of the team. It's a 3rd. It's a huge importance of it alone here, as 1 or 2 consecutive whiffs here that certainly will leave a doubt here. And well, the Swiss will certainly be making a carving into this play here, but, and this is a massive but here, if Monk does get those shooting accuracy, you asked that question actually in the pre-show, can it maybe up a level here? I think we're starting to see an answer to that question already.
Yeah, definitely. So far we've seen him score 3 goals in this series. He's definitely been the main focus for Nezuko in 2 out of the 3 games so far. And you talked about that Swiss flag. I just hear Senji crying in the background of them leaving the Euros.
Well, why don't you rub it in with Ice Ice Baby right now, because frankly, it's not coming home. Sticking up for Senji and the rest of Europe here. The reign of terror is over.
But we'll see tomorrow. I have to disagree. We do hear that Italy have scored as well, just keeping you up to date with the Euros while you're watching this brilliant game. But yeah, Imoutos have equalised, and they've found themselves equal on shots, goals and level in the series.
And that particular Italian goal came from a counter, and it was maybe subtly referenced earlier as well too. If you can spot it, feel free to clip it as well. I'd be surprised to see who might have found out about this one, but this goal certainly requires 2 goalkeepers to get a touch to it, and Aish, well, he's done his job as 3rd man to certainly get the ball away here, but the quick counter-attack it. That's how the Italians done theirs in the Euros. What a match they're being treated to, especially here as well tonight.
Yeah, and Monk's just been the standout player in this game so far. He's got the goal and he's got 2 saves. Fon did get a ghost hit to try and level that game, level the score, sorry. And after that, 2 keepers had to make the save, and it's just been brilliant defense again. Nezuko find themselves under the pressure right now. They just need to get rid and try and get some disruption plays again.
Disruptions. That may be one way of how to do it. Just what style will it be? Positional? Will it be the physicality? Yet to see it in our defensive set plays happening time and time again. It's almost repetitious. A good backboard read here and a small touch over back to Aish. I like the fact here so far here. It's a 1-2 passing play. Gets it, bites it right across here. The only issue is they cannot hold it past the halfway line when we see this sort of tantalizing seesaw goes back and forth.
Yeah, and as you say, seesaw, it's like a replica of the first game so far. Nezuko had a really strong start. Imoutos coming back with the counter-attacks and the shots on Nezuko's net, and I think we could be going to our second overtime.
What a treat that would be, and we'll see if that becomes the case here as Davey just drops it right across, and that's a nice pass and play, but not taken, and smartly drops all the way back into the corner. And so far here, the smart players has come around here when necessary. 30 seconds and that OT that was being alluded to. Oh, alluded might not be gone here. Pass right across field. Sad the par didn't match the potential.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Fon to try and get into the game for Imoutos. We usually know him as the fast player for Imoutos, and he's not really had a shot on goal or anything yet, and at the moment, Nezuko are just finding themselves shutting down Imoutos again.
Well, close the book down. 5 minutes wasn't enough. Well, get the hourglass ready. We will have OT for the second time, as mentioned, and frankly so. I want to throw another question. Which way is it going to go?
I'm going to go with Nezuko. Like I said, I think it's a replica of the first game. And I spelled out why a couple of seconds ago. I just think they're going to come up with the goal, and then Imoutos will take game 4 after I called the 2-2.
Fair enough. We will not be saying what Shinji might be uttering, whispering under his breath right now as he quite sees his home flying being flown quite proudly at the moment. Sadly, the defense here has to be as strong here. A ball back into the middle. He has been
What a
quiet
finish.
for near enough 6 minutes there. I'm not phrase. What a finish. What a finish, my son, indeed.
Yes, what a finish in the Challenger tier. The speed on Fon. I think it was Fon who scored. Yeah, he was up so quick. I asked for it about a minute ago, saying he needed to get into the game, and that was his first shot and first goal. And he puts Imoutos 2-1 up in this series. And like I said earlier, they beat Orcus 3-1 an hour ago. And if they take one more game, I mean, I think they've finished positive already. Yeah, they've won 2 games here, so this is the first week that they find themselves positive. So this is a really big upstart for Imoutos in the standings, and if I was them now, I would be looking to finish this series 3-1.
It shows you what a week can do, and well, to go positive at this time in the season is, well, such a benefit and a factor that's almost unparalleled to the situation. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too far, as there is still a series outlook. It is 2-1, and we've been talking back and forth what is and what could be happening as well. Don't forget, there is still lots of broadcasts happening this week as well too, and join the Discord. There might be something else maybe happening as well too.
Yeah, a lot of streams this week. Just check the stream poll channel. There is something that you need to react on to get a bonus thing this week. But the bonuses here. Game 4 in the series. Imoutos looking to go 3-1 in the first positive week of RSC, and the Nezuko gang looking to claw back at 2-2 in the first series of their week.
I was just hoping that was going to drop in, to be truthfully honest, but with that being happily said as well there, a brief look in the sort of the Twitch channel itself here. Of course, the VODs happily available to you, but right now here, Senji is wishing and requesting for a best of 5. Sadly, not happening right now, but what a decisive game that might be. Of course, playoffs and everything, well, that is unfortunately the nature of the beast, what, who and shall be beating each other here, but quiet opening minute to an extent, 0-0 so far.
Yeah, and I think Senji will be voting that best of 5 until the Switzerland player repping that flag will get a win. However, we can't do that in a 4-game series, and as I say, Imoutos get the first goal. And do you think this could be the start of Imoutos upturning the league and rising up the table?
Hope so. I would like to see a bit of confidence. I'd like to see the fact that a bit of start, a bit of movement comes into it, because it can be demoralising if it just goes badly wrong here. And with that just happening around here, we will see the second quick goal by Fonda itself here, and my word, what a goal it was.
You might have to take this one, Danny, because I've just got kicked out of the lobby. I am
No,
back
I
now, but I
won't be
didn't see
taking
that goal.
anything. Fawn will be accredited, rightly so, and the pass was exquisite. The best one we've seen so far, and I have to bow down to your superior knowledge, because you said 2-2 before a ball was even touched. It looks like it's heading potentially that way, but somebody might have other ideas tonight.
Yes, definitely. And Imoutos, I mean, we talked about Fon in the last game, and he came out in the last seconds to win that game. But this game, he's on fire. 4 shots and 1 goal. He's been the driving force for Imoutos' attack so far. And I think Fon is the key, the talisman to the Imoutos side winning. And I called this in the power rankings at the start of the season.
He's called it, he knows all, and frankly on display here as the third one goes in here. Rumour has it, I believe somebody's Swiss citizenship might have been pulled here, and I think Senji is holding a passport right now.
Yeah, and a passport for Imoutos to overtake Nezuko in the league standings. And it's been a very, very good performance in the game 3 and 4. Both teams were very, very shaky in the first 2 games. A bit of a back and forth, just relinquishing possession. But this could be the shining star in Nezuko's night.
Potentially, as well, as we do see, I would like to say a consolation goal, but I said that once before earlier tonight, and oh, how wrong I could have been. It ended up 3-2, but there's plenty of time still around, of course, for another goal to be planted at the back of the net here, as this one just been pinched away here. And frankly, it's just strange to see how the positional game has adapted right now, as the blue side quite literally sitting one deep and sending long.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you just can't play like that. You really need to get the attacking pressure on. We know Monk is good for his extension plays, and we've not really seen it come out in game 3 and 4. As we can see here, there's just 3 people sat in defence. You really need to start pushing one up and looking for the outplay.
Well, if you didn't have the repertoire of the scoreboards and everything else, if you heard the one side sitting back, you presume they were leading not only game, but include the series-wise as the 4th one goes in. You describe Monk as the extension right now. I think it might be more accurate to describe him with another equipment from the snooker rack. It's almost quite literally a rest.
It is, and they'll be looking for a rest after this game because Nezuko have just fallen. And I don't know why Ash felt that he needed to cut Monk off there. He just hit the ball all the way back to his defence, and it just put them under pressure. And you just really have to trust your teammates to go in that position.
Trust. Such a big word, and at this level here, inspect a number of league play. The weeks in the scheduling will come into effect here. A nice dribble, credit where it's due. What a save, to be fair. They even might have been, or two, has just been denied here.
Yeah, we can hear the eggs again with the Ice Ice Baby song. They've gone for that might have saved them the series, and I don't think Nezuko can find any consolation in with just over 60 seconds to go.
As you're going to tell me, sitting there with a leather jacket and a motorbike looking really cool, but I don't think that sort of style would suit me, and I think the gameplay hasn't suited them entirely tonight, but a 3-1 performance, not too bad indeed.
It isn't, and like I said, Imoutos finally going positive. They'll be looking at a 6-2 week and thinking we can build on this. We can see who we play next week and really make a push for playoffs. It's took us a while, but we're getting there.
Well, building requires an architect. Have they finally drawn up the plans and the foundation cemented? Well, that of course will be a few weeks' time when we have the answer to that, and maybe even next season coming up too, presuming that they stay together to some shape or fashion with this clock dwindling down, of course. I think our friend in Caster might just be struggling tonight to keep a brave face under this one. This one certainly stung. It will not be sweet, but I think it's GG's for the night.
Yeah, and we will see one final goal from Fon. 2 goals, 2 assists, and 5 shots. He has really come alive since the end of Game 3.
Credit where it's due. To be fair, you said he didn't, not necessarily do much, but didn't have enough to his accolades under his name. Credit where it's due, came out, made the statement, and I think it would have to be fair. The substitution actually was good. I think it may have been 2 games too late, however, because they didn't have the sort of the sulfine of each other. They didn't have the chemistry, the bond wasn't exactly coherent as we were expecting here. But, and a massive but it was a good performance. And what's next for them? Well, that's going to be the major question for them to answer.